Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the SoFlo Soccer channel here on YouTube. Welcome to another episode of the Heron's Haven podcast, where we'll be doing the post-game reaction to Inter Miami versus Sporting Kansas City on match day 9 in the MLS 2024 regular season. I did an entire episode of this same podcast. I literally did a whole episode doing my reaction to Sporting Kansas City versus Inter Miami. YouTube just completely didn't pick up what I had to say until like the very, very end. So I had to delete it, and now I'm redoing it completely from scratch. So this is my second take. Hopefully, this didn't cause any inconvenience for anybody when I was actually going to go live at 12 o'clock. So we're trying this again. I'll try to make it shorter than the first time because last time I talked for 45 minutes. I'll try to make it 30 minutes and maybe won't spend as much time on certain things that I've talked about that weren't really as important. So, anyways, I did have some pregame notes that I said before to kind of get everybody settled and started before we started getting into the starting 11, and so pretty much I talked about just kind of we played in front of over 72,000 people at Arrowhead Stadium, which is the Kansas City Chiefs Stadium, which is awesome. The first time that Miami played at SKC in their history, and the first time that SKC played in that stadium since 2010 when they played Manchester United and beat them 2-1, which is a very fun fact. So, and that drew about like 50,000 fans. So this game again with Messi against Miami drew more fans than a game against Manchester United for a friendly game. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, and the total attendance was 72,610 people, which is the fourth highest attendance ever in a single match in MLS history, which is an awesome achievement for them, great achievement for us. It just in both of our history. So Patrick Mahomes met Messi. Not going to show a clip of that. It's so crazy how I'm saying all of this over again because I'm saying pretty much the same thing that I said when I first did the episode. But yeah, I'm not going to be showing any clips due to copyright reasons. YouTube has been getting, I feel, or at least I feel like they've been getting really strict on clips and stuff that I show on my episodes. Like I literally have done Champions League videos where I'll put clips of the goals, or even for here for Inter Miami, I'll put like the goals and I'll like show them from Twitter, and they'll just completely be like, yeah, no, they'll just copyright it and be like, yep, and they'll take it down. So I'll have to remove it or cut out the segment. So yeah, no more videos, no more clips from that from any goals or showing anything like that, just to avoid any copyright or any legal issues, right? So without further ado, we're gonna try this again. Let's look at the starting 11, and we'll talk about each individual performance from the players here. So starting 11 starts off with Drake Calendar in goal. We're playing a 4-3-3 formation. Alba, Freire, Aviles, Chelo, Weingart, Ruiz, Busquets, Gressel in the midfield, and up top is Gomez, Suarez, and Messi. Really starting 11, really solid starting 11, pretty much the best starting 11 we have outside of the injuries we have, like Federico Redondo and Benja and things like that. But pretty much it's the best lineup we could probably put out there, right? And like the formation, we didn't do a five at the back this time. I feel like a lot of people, I've definitely that felt the backlash from the fans and from journalists and things like that of the 5-3 five back formation, five midfield formation. So good to see a 4-3-3 basic solid formation and a tactic that pretty much works almost every time, at least for us, right? I think we play well in this formation. So, anyways, um, it's so first half, um, damn, it's so crazy, and now I have to literally go through my entire analysis again. First half, we give them the lead. Sporting Kansas City take the lead probably about 6 minutes in, where Chelo makes a huge mistake on the right side of the field here. Instead, he tries to cut in, gives Sporting Kansas City the ball, and after 2-3 passes, their boy Tommy over here, the German, scores the first, right? And we'll get to more about the individual performances in a second. I just want to talk briefly about the goals and how it happened. But later in that half, Messi did score. They ended up scoring in, I believe, like 10 minutes or so later. Um, Oh no, Gomez. I'm an idiot. You see this? I hate this, bro. I literally hate the fact that I have to redo my entire analysis all over again. Um, but yeah, Messi gave the assist. It was an amazing assist from Messi to Diego Gomez, where he got the equalizer in about the 18th minute of the game. So really, really beautiful. The pass from Messi came from Gressel, who kind of found Messi in a little pocket of space, which is very surprising that they actually left him that amount. Thank you, EJ. I appreciate you, bro. Yeah, bro, I literally had to do this all over again because I literally had to do this all over again. I did an entire stream, an entire podcast episode, and literally YouTube didn't pick it up. Like it didn't process the fact that I was live until I was pretty much done at like the 45-minute mark. So yeah, I'm gonna try to see like what I can get in again. Because I still have other content to make. But anyway. Um Yeah, they found Messi in a little pocket of space, which was very surprising. The fact that they just gave him that amount of space, right? And then as soon as he was marked, he kind of took a glance upwards, right? He saw in a distance Gomez was making that run, and yeah, I mean it was only Messi can make a pass like that into a pocket of space, finding the lane, exposing empty space that the back line had, that the SKC line had. So Diego Gomez took a well struck bottom right corner and gave put a goal for Miami on the board. And that was the end of the first half. So second half came 51st minute in. Lionel Messi scores pretty much the goal of the week, right? I think everybody saw it 25 yards out. Saw the keeper a little slightly off his line, or at least kind of caught him off guard. Didn't really expect him to take a shot from that far. But it's Lionel Messi. He's going to do Lionel Messi type things. And it was un golazo from the World Cup winner in that situation. Um, Great goal and put Miami in the lead for the first time this game. Unfortunately, that lead didn't really last that long as Tommy again got the equalizer, right, for SKC. Came off a corner kick. There was an attempt to clear from Luis Suarez. It goes in the air, falls straight to Tommy, volleys it to the right side of the net, off the post in. And you can't really be mad about that goal, right? It was a well struck, absolute golazo. And was really giving Sporting Kansas City a lot of hope, right? That they're in the game, or at least they're back in the game after pretty much being intimidated by Messi's goal and Messi's assist. So now that they're back in the game, Miami are trying to have to kind of counter that and show them who's boss. So, but yeah, and they do in the 71st minute. There was a great pressure from Gomez on the left-hand side of the pitch, stealing the ball away from that American player Davies after being distributed to the goalkeeper Melia. And Gomez kind of just snatches the ball from him, uh, starts driving into the box, finds Luis Suarez, low cross, back post, and he tucks it in 3-2. And that's how the game finished. So 3-2, great result, honestly. And it's a really great result from Inter Miami. Before this, we went 5 games without a single win. And so finally getting a win, finally putting in a pretty good performance is a very huge positive for the club and for these players. So we'll talk about the players individually and how I think they performed on the day and just kind of like overall and my overall opinion on them. Let me go back to the starting 11 if I can. Okay, I'm just gonna go to that, right? So we'll go to this. We'll go to the starting 11. This is what they posted on Twitter. What Inter Miami posted on Twitter, right? And it's not like their typical graphic where like they like post like the actual formation. Instead, they just kind of listed the starting 11, right? So, and I'm assuming, and a lot of people assume that, right? A lot of people assume that because of the backlash that they've been getting before the game, because all the starting 11s anywhere get released an hour, 60 minutes before kickoff. So I guess it's just to avoid any negativity before kickoff and to avoid any backlash just off right before the game even starts. But yeah, so just on the defense, we'll focus on the defense first, right? I want to talk about let's talk about Cello, right? Because Cello led to the first goal. So we'll talk about Cello first. he was probably he was underwhelming, I should say, right? Very underwhelming. Didn't really do a lot. Obviously led to the first goal of like his mistake led to the first goal, and then after really that, he's been pretty much a ghost the entire game. There were some chances, or there were some scenarios where he was kind of trying to structure that like back line, I guess, right? And maybe just kind of I don't know, like just help correct his mistake pretty much and not or try to avoid not making that mistake again. But I thought Shelley was very underwhelming, which is very upsetting also because of the fact that I've praised him so much. Um Aviles, I thought did okay. Like I thought it was a solid, like it was okay performance from Aviles. I've been kind of bashing him recently because of his performances, his distribution from the defense to the midfield or to the offense. And honestly, I'm gonna be on the fence about him. I know he's still 19. He has a lot of development to do, and he definitely can reach like a pretty high potential. But I think his just main problem is passing the ball out of the back and anything on ball needs to be severely improved. I think he won a lot of challenges making tackles and things like that, but in order and to compete in the modern game, he has to be a more complete center back and not just simply win the ball and that's it. I mean, like if you can have a no nonsense center back, and that's pretty much what Freire did. He was pretty no nonsense for the majority of the game, just making just clearances, right? Instead of like passing it back to Calendar or trying to pass it up the field or just whatever, he'll just clear it out of bounds and just very no nonsense activity, right? But honestly, yeah, I feel like Aviles can do a lot better, and I kind of want to hold him to a high standard because even though, like I said, he's only 19, he's the most expensive center back in the MLS. He needs to be performing to pretty much that level. He needs to be held to that expectation. So if you're going to be the most expensive player or defender in the MLS, you need to be performing like you're the most expensive defender in the MLS. So that's what I have. That's my thoughts on Aviles. I talked about Freire. I guess I liked his no nonsense. I thought it was pretty solid. Honestly, I'd prefer it than to just pass it back to the goalkeeper and avoid and just completely avoid a mistake of from distributing. I feel like Freire is more aware of the fact that they have problems distributing the ball out of the back than maybe the others. But yeah, I like that. Alba is a fantastic player. How he just I mean, like I pretty much talk about him in every single podcast, right? Like the way that he controls like the flow of the game, him with Boosie, him connecting with Boosie is just absolutely amazing. Their ball knowledge, their skills, um, just the way they progress. It's like it's just absolutely amazing to watch. And he's an absolute beast. He was one of the best players on the night, to be honest. And speaking of Boosie, we did see just kind of not a different side of Boosie because we've seen this before, at least in this season, where he's played further back, right? So if you remember the time where he played a center back role, he did play. Obviously, he played further deep, right? Because he was a center back, but he would help with the distribution from Calendar and to kind of just get higher up the field if he could, right? And then maybe switch out with one of the center mids would be Aviles or whoever. Last night he played something similar, right? He played more of like a halfback role, where he did drop deep as like a center back or maybe a third center back, or either Ferreira or Aviles would kind of trade positions with him, and just to kind of just to help with the distribution. I mean, like it was just good to see. I liked the fact that Busquets did that. I think like that's probably the best role that he has for the team. He's an amazing player. A lot of people complain that he doesn't run or doesn't make forward runs or things like that, but that's not his role. That's not who he is, especially for his age and just literally the position that he plays. He can't be making those kind of runs. He can't be running all over the place. Um, he's literally the pendulum of the team. He dictates the tempo, and that is what he has to do. And I think that using him as that halfback is using him properly in this system. Um, I liked Ruiz. Ruiz did very, very well in tight spaces specifically because it was a narrow field. There was a lot of tight spaces. He was able to kind of like just avoid either get himself out of those situations and find and create more open space. And even if he did like maybe turn the ball over or something like that, whatever, like he definitely showed a lot of passion, a lot of drive, a lot of desire, a lot of hustle to just to give the best performance that he can for the club. And I think that's at the end of the day, like that's what's most important. You see him trying, you see him doing his very, very best for a young player like him, who is also trying to well, not trying to, but I guess he is trying to like be also a starter, like a solid starter for the team, and even as well for the Honduran national team. So high hopes for Ruiz. Think he's a good player. Has a lot of development to do, a lot of progression to accomplish. But he will definitely get there if he continues the mindset and the work ethic that he has now. Gressel, I thought Gressel wasn't. I thought this wasn't Gressel's best game. He didn't really have. He didn't really do much. I mean, honestly, he had that pre-assist for the first goal for the opening goal with Messi and Gressel. But honestly, like nothing really happened. Like he didn't really it was just kind of like an off, either it was an off game for him or he just didn't really have anything to do, which is like which is okay, right? Like sometimes you're not going to be like you're not going to have something to do every single game, right? I mean, like he did his job to an extent, right? He did get subbed off for Benka Mikramashi, which was good to see Benka back in the team again. But yeah, no, I don't want to talk bad on Gressel. I love Gressel. I think he's a great player. He's one of the most important players on the team. And he definitely helps the team function in the getting up and down the field, making those passes. Even could be like when Messi's not there, he is the playmaker. He's a pretty good playmaker. He tries to create chances and get goal contributions. Um, so I think he's a solid play for Miami. So I have really nothing to say about Gressel, despite of what I think he had on the game and what other people are saying. What kind of game he had. But and then yeah, now we move. Lastly, we move to the attack, which I think is pretty self-explanatory. We had Gomez up first with the goal, amazing goal for him and the assist. So pretty much Diego Gomez could be getting man of the match. Honestly, you can give Diego Gomez the man of the match if you really wanted to. Messi goal and assist as well, so you can give it to one of those two. Honestly, they're both man of the matches. A goal and assist. I feel like Gomez is definitely underrated. I don't know if I talked about. I honestly don't remember if I've talked about Gomez earlier in the episode because I've already done this entire episode, so I completely forget who I talked about and who I didn't. But I think Gomez is still underrated. I feel like people are not giving him the love and the attention that he deserves. I think he's a solid player. He's another young player of Paraguayo, 20 years old. Um, he's definitely is one to look for the future. There's also rumors of him even going to Europe. Like there's a lot of European attraction from him. Don't know exactly what clubs, but it's all rumors at the end of the day, right? But and honestly, I don't blame them for wanting a player like uh Diego Gomez. He's a very, very solid player with a lot of potential. And if he continues his development in Europe, he's going to be a pretty solid player. Maybe not one of the best in the world, but I think a pretty good player in one of the top leagues. For Suarez, I think that I think Suarez played great. He did his job. I think there were times where I did question his like decision making or just question just his involvement in the team. He would make some mistakes, but that's just kind of Suarez. It was a very like it was just a typical Suarez performance, right? So it's not really bad. It's not a bad thing. It's just kind of what you expect from Suarez. And he scored a goal and he did his job. And even though he not everything worked his way, but that's okay. It's not going to go 100% all the time. So I think it was a good performance from Suarez. For Messi, I already talked about Messi. Like I can't say more good things about Messi because I feel like it's just so obvious. It's so um just so obvious of how amazing of a player he is and what he does for the team, how he creates chances, finds the spaces, score the goals. It's he pretty much he does anything and everything. So he gets all around the field. Um, so 10 out of 10 for Messi, honestly. So yeah. And that's pretty yeah. I also want to talk about let's talk about a little bit on what Tata said after the game because I did translate some quotes that he said in the post game, at least some that is actually useful, right? Because you know how those press conferences get. So first he talked about Diego Gomez. He talked about, or at least that's yeah. I think that Diego's contributions were very important to the team. And for us today, he played very well and he played in an attacking position and he understood the game well up there. And then he mentioned the European interest attracted from by Gomez on after recent performances, which is very very believable that European clubs would want to see and sign a player like Diego Gomez. Um, on the match, he said that the truth is that it was a very important win for us tonight, and it definitely helps with the team's morale. And we are recovering from a very difficult week and had a solid game. So 100% agree with him on that. And I do want to sidetrack a little bit regarding to that comment, right? So he's saying recovering from a very difficult week. Um, they literally, but like I said before in the podcast episode, we have gone 5 games without a win. And that's both in the league and in the CCC. So today's win was very, very important for the team, for the league, for the players. So we, besides the fact that it was a really good performance from the team, the fact that we got the result today is just really, really good. It's just really, really good for everything. Good for morale, good for the team, good for the league. Um, my light just died. That's great. Um, this is great, guys. Love love having to do things like this. So, um, what else was I gonna say? So yeah, and I'm also really happy that we're pretty. I know this might be a little controversial, but I'm really really happy that we're out of the CCC. The fact that we don't have to worry about that competition anymore, and that, in my opinion, people were expecting a lot from us. Like I think there was the expectations from that competition, I think were a little too high. I mean, people thought we were going to win the whole thing. Honestly, I didn't. I honestly didn't expect we were going to win the whole thing. Especially with the situations with the injuries that we had, especially in the earlier stages, I thought we were going to struggle. Maybe as we got further in, maybe and if we had a full squad back, we probably could have been more competitive. But I think I knew after that first leg, when Miami lost to Monterrey, I knew it was going to be very, very difficult. So, uh, like it was going to be very difficult going to Mexico and actually getting a result and playing good, which is exactly what didn't happen. Right, we didn't get the result and we didn't play good at all. So I'm very, very happy that we're not in the CCC anymore. It just gives us more priority over the league, winning the MLS, making it to playoffs, and I think that's just more important than anything. I was going to say winning MLS Cup, but we're obviously MLS teams are not in that anymore. Um, but Leagues Cup we're also still we got to focus on Leagues Cup, which is also very important. So if we can replicate what we did last season with Leagues Cup, that's a very successful season as well. Um, the bare minimum now for Inter Miami, we can first, yeah, the bare minimum we have for Inter Miami is to make it to the playoffs, right? Because I'm pretty sure I think it's 8 teams that can make it to the playoffs. It's like it's one positions 1 through 9, 8 and 9 play a wild card game, and then the winner of that game will go through. So as long as we finish in the top 9, which we should, um, it's not a successful season, right? Because even though we haven't made to the playoffs last year, and we barely made it the year before with Neville, um, the playoffs are the bare minimum, right? That's the minimum expectation that we have for the team. Now, what we do need to aim for is 100%. I think we need to win the Eastern Conference. I think the Eastern Conference would be a great achievement. Because even if we don't win MLS Cup, I think still winning the conference would be a great achievement for the club. Um, if we do win MLS Cup, even better. If we can win the freaking conference, like if we can win the conference and the MLS Cup, that's an amazing season. That's like definitely surpassing my expectations because I want at least I shouldn't say at least, but I think with just the Eastern Conference alone, it's a successful season, even if we don't win MLS Cup. If we don't win Leagues Cup, it's not really considered a failure. If we played well, if we got far in the tournament, um, I think it'll be a good season. I think it's still good. So, um, yeah, and that's my opinion on that. My throat is insanely dry for talking for like an hour, and 15 minutes. Um, So yeah, that's my opinion on being out of the Concacaf Champions Cup now and focusing on the league. He did talk. Oh, did I mention about Jordi Alba's injury? No, I did. I did in the last episode, but not in this one. So yeah, Jordi Alba got injured in around the 70th ish minute. Got injured. Negri came on. Really happy to see Negri get more minutes for the team. Really unfortunate that Alba did have to come off for an injury. He just pulled a muscle. Excuse me, damn. I want to assume that it was just like it was either like a calf or like a hamstring pull. I don't know. I forget exactly, but it's some sort of muscle pull, and so he shouldn't really be out for too long. I would say the minimum a week, the max maybe 3. I think I don't think he should be missing more than 3 weeks, especially now that we don't have midweek games to worry about. I think there should be more recovery. There'll be more days where he can recover. He'll be able to recover quicker because we'll only play one day a week, right? So I feel like there'll be more time during the week to recover. So maybe in 2 weeks he'll be back. Not sure. Tata has spoke about it, saying that he hasn't spoke with the medical staff and he doesn't want to give any conclusions because he haven't spoken with them yet. Which is very typical. It's a very typical media answer. So, I mean, it is what it is, right? Like that's you can't really expect that to answer that question at that time, right? Um, and yeah, and so he also said that we're able to recover our mood and sensation, and we are very satisfied with the win. So, and yeah, and honestly, yeah. So, congratulations to Miami. I think it's like I said, great win for us. It's a great way to just kind of end this 5-game winless streak. And hopefully, in the next game, we're able to kind of continue our run and continue our momentum. Or hopefully, from now on, we can pick up the momentum, right? And continuously provide solid performances and pick up results. Now we're top of the league, even though we are a game ahead of everyone. It still feels good to be up there for the time being. But the next game, we head back to Chase Stadium, regular season game, of course, match day 10 against Nashville SC. It's gonna be a pretty good game. Even though Nashville are doing pretty poorly in terms of results so far this season, I believe in the 7 games, they've only won 1 game out of 7 in the regular season. So um we obviously beat them in the CCC. They also had a pretty in their last they've lost or they haven't won in their last 5 games. I'm pretty sure also. So they were in a similar run. Um, they're like in a similar run as we were, right? So they lost 5-0 to LAFC. They lost 2-2 to Columbus. They lost 2-1 to Philly. So it's like really difficult teams, right? It's not like they're playing easy teams. LAFC, Columbus, and Philly are all really really good teams. So it's not like they were having easy opponents. Um, but when they play us, when they come to us, and what's it called? When we meet next week, it's going to be very difficult in the sense that they're going to definitely want revenge from last time out. We beat them in the CCC. We tied them 2-2 in the first leg, and we beat them in the second leg. It's going to be they're going to want to come back for revenge, right? And a lot of people say these are our rivals. Honestly, they're not, right? I still don't think they're our rivals. I don't think they're good enough. And I said they weren't going to be good this season. But honestly, they were facing pretty good teams. So we'll see what happens next Saturday. This is next Saturday, the 20th. Um, they're going to definitely be looking to break that winless streak as well. So we definitely can't underestimate the team. We can't underestimate the day. But it's going to be very, very interesting to see what I still have high hopes for that game. I think we definitely should be winning that game. We should have our full starting 11. We have a whole week of rest. And hopefully, if players don't get injured during training, we should be good to go. I mean, Alba's going to be out, but we're going to have Franco Negri in there. Benja Cremachi is going to be available. We have everybody's going to be available. Luis Suarez, Messi, Gressel, Busi, Freire, Aviles, Chelo, Ruiz. So we're going to have a lot of players. I don't think Redondo and Taylor and those guys are back yet. They might be back next month. Don't think they're going to be available for any games this month. But Yeah, no, it's good. I think it's only gonna get better from here. Their injuries are gonna start coming. Like players on that are injured right now are gonna be becoming more and more available as time goes on, and we don't have to worry about the CCC anymore. We can just strictly focus on the league and the Leagues Cup when it comes to that. But that is going to be the end of the Heron's Haven podcast episode. Inter Miami versus Sporting Kansas City reaction. Thank you so much for watching. I apologize for any inconvenience or delay on that stream on the first attempt of the stream. I literally recorded the entire episode and YouTube didn't pick it up until I was pretty much done, which I didn't understand why, but it is what it is. I did it all again and I did it in 15 minutes shorter. So I did go, yeah. I still appreciate everybody for watching and for supporting the channel. Um, for commenting below. I appreciate all the comments that take place below with your opinions, your analysis on the games. I love that's pretty much the best part about it for me, at least. I love reading what you guys have to say about it, so it's not just kind of me giving my personal opinions. So I would love to hear what you think in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel, please, and thank you. I'll see you guys next week live on this podcast again. And then I'm going to be doing some Champions League and some other like Premier League and Bundesliga content later in the day and tomorrow for you guys to see. So make sure you stay tuned for that. So make sure you turn the notification bell on. So anyways, like I said, thank you guys so much for watching. And yeah, I'll see you hopefully I'll see you next week.